Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Cincinnati Man. I am back. I'm with season 1, episode 7 called Oceans Apart of Bridgerton. See, look, got all the way through it. Woo. Goodness. We'll do Simon and Daphne. They're walking around being petty with each other, and then they get the notification, aka the whistleblower news, and they come back. They come back to town, cutting their honeymoon short in order to deal with what's happening with Colin Bridgerton, and they have yet to deal with the issues. Primarily to deal with the issues of Simon. Honestly, there's two different things. What's it called? What's it say? This is what happens when an immovable object meets an unstoppable force. It is sickening, and I love the fact that Daphne was like, "Wait a minute, you won't have kids and won't be happy because you made a promise never to do any of that because of your father who's not alive anymore." And then she tried to flip. This is where Daphne is wrong. When she tried to flip it and be like, "Well, you broke a vow. We're gonna see which vow you broke if I am pregnant." It's like, wait a minute, you kind of forced him to stay in you. And see, look, I tell you, when a man does it to a woman, it's all type of allegations. When a woman does it to a man, it's like, dude, what are you doing? Why don't you just stop her? That's what I said the last episode. I took a bunch of notes. I think I ain't gonna look. I don't know who watched the end of this episode and when she ended up bleeding because they were trying to figure out she was gonna bleed because it was her time of month was coming up, and Simon was like, "Look, if you are pregnant, I'm gonna do my husbandly duty and be there for you. But if you're not, I will never talk to you on it." It's like, wait a minute, you was gonna do that before. You can still do that and still had a kid. A lot of those people, they even had that party, that get together with Lady Danbury, where they even showed that where one of them was like, the general's wife was like, "Oh, he's never around. I don't care either." Like, so the idea of being like, Simon kind of gave like, "Oh, I'll be around." Nah, and I ain't, that's cat. But when she discovered that she did have her period, and she was crying all hard to her mom and everything, and I was like, wow, she really don't know nothing. Not everybody gets pregnant off the first time you have sex, and your your man comes in you. That's not how that works. That's not how any of that works. Now I remember earlier she kind of dressed down her mom, got mad at her, and really let her have it for the fact that she didn't teach her anything. And I'll honestly say this though. Let's keep it real. Her mom is actually a pretty good mom for the circumstances of what this society has built. Now, can she do better in the future? Absolutely. But the idea that she was just this horrible person to her when Daphne was all mad and everything, it's cap. She had her anger in the wrong place. Because Daphne's so smart, she should figure everything out. Like, not trying to get pregnant by a jerk. Anyway. Also, isn't there a thing where women can get pregnant and have a period and still have their period and keep and still be pregnant? Look, I don't know nothing about that. Miss Thompson's situation, I loved it. Yes, the Feathertons should be shunned. The Feathertons are disgusting people for the lie and the trick they tried to get away with. Good riddance for a little bit, because you're out of society for a little bit. But I'll tell you what's crazy. Eloise and Penelope are hanging out all the time where I forget that they're not sisters. I'm being serious. I totally forget. So when it was like, "Oh, we got to figure out to so your family won't be ashamed anymore," and I was like, "Oh yeah, y'all not," because they're around each other so much, you just naturally think they're relatives or something. But I was so mad for the Miss Thompson situation Daphne showed up and she was like, "You have nothing this is not your fault." Yes, it is your fault. She has to take some responsibility. I am tired of this. It's like when she saw Colin and Colin was like, "You made me a fool. Look, I'm tired of it." No, you gotta look. There's certain parts of these conversations where you got to be like, "Yeah, I messed up," and it's got to hear the person vent. And they don't like venting. They don't like hearing this venting a lot. They shut that venting down quick. Like, "Well, I did it because of this." You're like, "Well, you're not apologizing." So all this is sorry, not sorry. So anyway, when Daphne went to visit her and with Colin, and then Colin was like, "Just let you know, I would have married you even if I found out you were pregnant." I was like, "Oh, that hurt." And he's a fool. He's a fool. Oh man. When you're such a good guy, he's been a good guy through and through. It's like, please don't be this good, man. Just you could be good, but just don't give your heart up like this to a lot of people. Just don't do it. You can't do it for everybody. They got to earn that respect, man. That's the problem with so-called good guys. You keep on trying to do stuff for people, and then you realize, like, oh wait, they have to earn that type of attention. But whatever. I don't know nothing. Eloise. I'm good. I'm not even gonna do the comment thing I do. Where like, sit your ass down. Nah, you in it now. You talked all that mess. You like, I gotta find her now to restore the family of the Featherton name, and also I gotta find her because the Queen wanted her dead. I can't believe that. I knew 3 episodes ago the Queen wanted her dead. Was anybody else on the screen like, stop looking for her? The Queen is going to kill her. Stop it. She will kill Whistleblower. And when the Mama Brotherton was like, if you don't want to have a suitor or anything, or you think it's too much, we don't have to do it this year. Man, it's just time for her to grow up. I'm tired of this. I understand you don't want to go through it. Nah. See, look, she didn't get remarried. The father will set everything straight. Not really. It's craziness. This is gonna be real quick. Anthony trying to tell Simon how tough it is to be in charge of stuff, and Simon's dumbass being like, well, like your father would be disgraced by you because everything going. No, actually, things are pretty much going how they go. It doesn't seem, when you kind of take a step back, and man, I bet if you looked at all those families, there's a whole bunch of complete messes. So he's actually doing pretty good. When Anthony was like, "Oh, I get it now. You ain't never had a dad to teach you anything." He was right. And that fight scene where they did that extra like graphics, like when he power bombed him through a table and everything, I was like, "Hey, anybody gonna help Anthony stomp out Simon? Simon needed. He needs to get stomped out." Oh, Benedict. Look, when Benedict confronted Sir Granville, and he's like, "Look, man, I'm trying to understand what's going on here. What's his name? Granville." And he asked him. He was like, "Hey, man, what's the situation with your wife and your male look? Like, how's that work? What about honor? What about respect?" And he basically saying for the time he can't be with who he want to be with. Don't you ever had to be in the same? If you ever had to be in the same room with somebody that nobody could know you were with or you're in love with, you talking about this and that, but you never lived outside the boundaries and everything. I ain't gonna lie. There's 2 thoughts that went through my mind when Granville gave that speech about being oceans apart and unrequited love, like how you can love someone and never be with them and smile, but nobody can know your smile and stuff. I teared up a little bit. I teared up. Yep. I thought about some woman I really cared about, and it just couldn't work because it just couldn't work. We'll leave it at that. And it really sent chills through me, and I miss her and whatever. And the same thing I thought was when he was like, "Yeah, you don't know nothing about boundaries. You ain't going there pushing on boundaries." I was like, wait a minute. What's he trying to ask him to do? Wait, like, hold up, time out. Wait a minute. I was like, and then he ended up Benedict ended up hooking up back up with the seamstress who wouldn't be in enough higher standard for his family. And he was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna do this because I don't have that burden that my brother got. So I'm gonna do what I want to do. And it's like, look, I typed in my notes. You can find on YouTube. I just throw my notes up on YouTube. When he did that, I was like, why are you putting the thought in the same characters as your sister? Because him and Eloise was riding. He's like, I'm gonna pick up my friend. She's like, you got a friend? And it was her. And all I kept thinking was like, she had thought. They be out part. Like, come on, man. Benedict falling for that. I ain't got no responsibility trap, and watch. Something gonna happen in the family that's gonna have to make him choose a side and choose what he's gonna do in life. It's gonna be ridiculous. But yep, we're coming to the season finale, so I'm excited. The show, all right. I might watch another season. It's all right. So I'm Cincinnati man. Take care.